listen, you're also, there's something real interesting going on here. The off-Broadway play, for which you have won all these various awards, is Cloud Nine, as Doug mentioned. Then there's the musical, which is Nine. Is there something about the number that you have deliberately chosen, or just did it happen that way?
The nines come to me. I didn't choose it. In fact, I've been working on Nine for a couple of years, and while I was working on that came Cloud Nine, and then I went back to Nine. So we're not trying to confuse anyone. Those were legitimate titles. They were, one was Cloud Nine was written in England, and Nine was written here, and the only link between them are our producer, Michael Stewart, and me. I don't know. We just, the nines come. You know, it's the highest number. People say, we get a lot of reviews, 9 is a 10, but that's really not a compliment if we're talking about numerology, because 9 is the highest number. It's the metaphysician.
Are you into numerology?
Yes, yes.
You were before all of this happened.
Forever. Lucy Arnaz got me into numerology years ago when we toured.
Really?
They all have names, you know. The numbers all have names. Do you want to hear them?
Yeah.
I'll do them real fast.
Yeah.
1 is the pioneer, 2 is the helpmate, 3 is the artist, 4 is the mason, 5 is the scribe, 6 is the teacher, 7 is the mystic, 8 is the gleaner, that's sort of an antiquated word, and 9 is the metaphysician.
That's fascinating. And then
Now, aren't you
our numbers
happy you know that?
I know.
What is 7 again?
7 is the mystic. That's my number. Why'd you ask?
Because that's the channel we're on.
That's a channel. We're figuring.
Quite a good number.
This has always been a mystical channel to me.
That's right. It's been a mystery, Doug. That mystical.
How did you decide to call that show 9?
The composer 9 years ago started to work on it. He saw Fellini's 8½, which it's based on, inspired by, and he said, well, if it's a musical and it's the next step and we add a score, we'll add a ½ point to it. We'll call it 9. It's as simple as that. Of course, it has much more thematic content when you see the show, why it's called 9, but that was the first reason.
Tommy, a lot of people, I certainly haven't, but a lot of people, because you've had so much success as a choreographer and a director now, may have forgotten that you were a brilliant performer, and in fact you won a Tony Award for your first role in Seesaw way back when. And you haven't been performing, and I know you're planning to do something this fall. What came first? I mean, did you decide to leave performing and direct, or how did it all happen?
Oh no, I had to make a living.
that old inconvenient factor.
After I won the Tony Award, suddenly nobody was calling me to be in shows anymore. It happens, you know, it puts you into another category. I don't know. Rita Moreno, a long time ago, when she won the Oscar for West Side Story, was suddenly boosted into another
category.
Yeah, and they just say, well, this would be good for Rita Moreno, but she'll be too expensive. We won't call her now. And, you know, like that. And I think maybe a little bit of that happened to me.
It's like what people used to say. I once interviewed Elaine at, you know, the restaurant Elaine's, and she said, all these celebrities are here on the weekend because no one asks them out because they all think they're such celebrities that they all have dates.
Yeah. Well, Judy Garland on a talk show once said, no one ever calls me. No one would think, well, I should call up Judy Garland, you know.
Well, are you available to do Good Morning New York next week? I mean, we were afraid to ask.
Does anyone call you, Judy?
What? No, they all
you're
think
otherwise
I'm such a big
engaged.
star.
I want to talk about numerology some more.
Okay.
Is it
what
true?
Do you want to know?
I want to know that in numerology, is it true that you can change the flow of your life by changing your name?
Well, now, I know people who have done that. I don't.
So that it adds up.
I was never able to change my name, but I'm happy with the flow of my life, you know.
I've got to ask you, I'm sorry to get off the numerology, but your name, Tommy Tune,
yes,
you know, everybody thought, well, he's a musical comedy star, he made up that name because it's perfect.
No, that's my real name. Isn't it odd? That's my real name. And so no wonder I'm doing what I'm doing.
Does anybody else on Earth have that name? Well, your parents, obviously.
I don't think, if they have not come forth.
I see. They're staying back. Tune, where do you come from, Tommy?
Well, that's English. It's an English name. My father's side of the family's English. And in fact, Tunes were the ones that were given the original charter to settle Tennessee. And there are a lot of Tunes in Tennessee. But I'm from Texas, and I think we're the only Tunes in Texas.
Probably migrated west someplace a long time ago. There's a wonderful irony this year, which I'm sure you're aware of yourself, which is that the guy who gave you your first job, who is a good friend of yours, who in fact gave you your first apartment when you came to New York, was Michael Bennett. Put you in Seesaw, which he was a choreographer and director of.
Yes.
Right. Yes. And now you and Michael are up for the same award. Do you talk about it at all? It's such
Well, yes, and we laugh about it, and who knows?
Yeah.
The thing about it is that when Michael moved out of his apartment with the success of A Chorus Line, you know,
Right.
he moved to a nicer apartment. I got that apartment, which has always been one of my favorite apartments. Now, at that point, I was a musical comedy performer. When I moved in, my life started shifting, and Lucy says, well, you know, you move into a director's apartment, you become a director. So I think maybe that had a lot to do with it. The energy that he created in his apartment that I took over
Right.
has propelled me into this new field.
Do you want to go back? You're going back to performing in the fall.
Well, yes, I can't just keep making up shows all the time. I've got to be in one.
Why not? The producers, I'm sure, would be very happy to have you keep making up shows.
Well, yeah. But I'm going to do a show with Twiggy. And see, Twiggy and I met on the Boyfriend film.
Right. For Ken Russell a long time ago, right?
I think it was about 9 years ago. That's the
9
truth.
years ago,
I think
catch
it was.
yeah.
And so we're coming together again in Funny Face, a new production of the Gershwins' Funny Face. I'm really excited about it. So is she. I talked to her yesterday.
Well, we're
She's
looking forward
in
to it.
California.
Listen, seeing you're 6'6"?
Yes.
Could you give me your autograph?
Oh, I just love little things.
Here.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if it writes or not.
Well, watch the next, if you like things of this order, watch the next
Well, I
segment.
do. It makes me feel so normal.
Listen, you're delightful.
I'd have to
Lots
put it
of
behind my ear.
That's right. Cub reporter.
Next, think big. Stay tuned.
Good luck.